News Central now at this hour begins with security matters, where we understand that investigations are underway in Ondo State after the killing of no fewer than 20 persons in 4 communities in Akure North local government area following an attack by gunmen suspected to be bandits on Saturday. The assailants attacked Aba Alajido, Aba Sunday, Aba Pastor, and Ademekun communities, killing and injuring several residents. Sources say many farmers and other villagers were killed in the midnight raid. The real toll believed to be around 40 persons, while some managed to escape with injuries. A police source has confirmed the attack, stating that officers from the State Police Command had been deployed to the affected areas. Also reacting to the attack, the Regent of Ademekun Community, Princess Adekemisola Adelowo, condemned the killings and revealed that locals had had a running battle with herdsmen for the past 6 years. Well, we will come to security matters much later in the course of the bulletin, but for now, let's stay in Ondo State, where the Supreme Court has affirmed Lucky Aiyedatiwa of the All Progressives Congress as the governor of Ondo State, dismissing a challenge by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Aba Alajido. Justice Aba Alajido ruled that Ajayi's appeal, which alleged discrepancies in Deputy Governor Olayide Adelami's name change, lacked merit. The court upheld lower court decisions that dismissed the case on procedural grounds, ruling that Ajayi lacked the legal standing to sue and filed the case beyond the 14-day limit. The Apex Court described the petition as baseless and ordered Ajayi to pay 2 million naira in costs to each of the 4 respondents. To discuss this, we are joined by a lawyer and a public affairs analyst, Okiki Adeniro. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniro, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Did you think the Supreme Court's judgments could have gone otherwise than affirming Governor Aiyedatiwa's victory?
Well, I do not think so at all, because, you know, there's a saying that says that if the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? As you can see, and also, you know, we have heard from the Supreme Court, the foundation of this case was already defective to the extent that the appellant brought the case to court beyond the 14 days. You know, before you bring such case to court, you have 14 days within which you're supposed to bring that kind of case to court. And, you know, this came after the 14 days. And such case, you do not have an extension of time to file it. You know, it's called a pre-election case. So a pre-election case is when you have issues with a particular election, maybe a primary election. You have only 14 days within which you have to file your case before the court. And, you know, it wasn't done at the right time. And, you know, the foundation was defective and nothing could have been done at all about that. So, you know, I didn't think about it that it was going to go the other way. I you know, very certain that it was going to be affirmed by the Supreme Court any other way.
Okay, so in line with what you said, you know, the court dismissed the case on procedural grounds, that the appellant lacked local standi and that the case was statute barred. But then, are these not technical grounds as against Ajayi's allegations of document falsification, which might actually be valid?
So the thing about the court is the court has procedural rules. You know, it's the law. You know, there are laid down rules for the court to follow. You can have a good case and bring it at the wrong time. You know, it defeats the whole thing. So you cannot sleep on your rights and say, okay, you have to wake up at a particular time and you feel that you should go approach the court at that time. If the case was not brought to court at the time it was supposed to be brought to court as stated by the law, there's nothing you can do about it. So there's a number of days that have been given, you know, to a particular person, for a particular case to be heard by the court. If it's not done within that, you know, number of days, that means the case is gone. So, and again, to also speak regarding what you said about, you know, Ajayi having a local stand. Yes, it does not have a local standard to even, you know, approach the court to vary an election that happened within another party. It's, you know, the court itself will not delve into an intra-party matter, as specifically, I'll give you an example. If there's a primary election, the court will dissociate itself because it's basically regarding the laws of the party, the rules of the party, and that was how the election was done. So if another person is coming to, vary the election of that particular party, it will be very wrong, as it was stated by the Supreme Court. The person would not be counted as a meddlesome interloper, right? In the sense that the person do not have the right to come to court, to come and, point an accusing finger to say the particular way the election was done was wrong. Cumulatively, talking about it was brought, the case was already started bad, was beyond 14 days, and nothing could have been done about that. The court cannot extend time. And again, the person that brought the case do not have the right, the legal right, to bring the case before the court. So, it was just a case that was dead on arrival.
Okay, so if Adelowo didn't have the local standby, who would have been in the right position to present a case of discrepancies in a document that would have helped someone get into an elective position, that could, of course, that document would have been admitted by the courts? Who has that right?
So the thing about it is this: there are intra-party rules. There are means of resolving disputes within the party. If such has happened, it could have been, resolved within the party. And apart from that, an individual, right? An individual probably under the Constitution regarding, falsification, forgery, another thing, can be brought separately. If they're going to bring this under a pre-election matter, right, it has to be within a particular number of time. And if you're going to do that at all, you have to be someone who has the legal right to question such, document and question such election. If you look at it very well, the course of this matter was based on the election of Governor Idatiwa. And, such thing, it's a, like I said, it's a pre-election matter. Pre-election matters are classified as an election, as a case that was supposed to be handled within a number of time, even before the election specifically. Okay. And if it goes beyond that, it means that there has been, a big issues, even before the election at all. So to say again, Mr. Aba Alajido had probably, filed this case at the time, a wrong time, wrong timing, and a time, it shouldn't be filed.
All right, okay.
And again, like I said, he has appeared before the court as a meddlesome interloper and not someone who has a legal right.
All right, okay, Kitty, let's round this up. Yeah, to round this up now, let's look at it on a broader scale. Do you trust the integrity of the court judgments in Nigeria over electoral disputes that you've seen in the last few years, or you see them as being tilted in favor of incumbency, or maybe a party over another?
Well, I trust the judgment of the court. The court is hallowed. The court is supreme, right? And it's the last hope of the common man. I know that there's been speculations and other issues regarding judgment coming up from the court, but I'll state this, that there are principles to so many things. And just like lawyers who go to court and, present their cases before the court, there are so many things that the judges look at and weigh this case by before having a judgment. Okay. So for my own, I believe that yes, the position of the law is what is being given up by the courts, and we believe what the court is doing, especially what the Supreme Court did today. It's succinct and is very, very good judgment.
All right, Mr. Okiki Adeniran, lawyer and public affairs analyst, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
We now head to the Parliament, where the House of Representatives has called for the immediate suspension of the Central Bank of Nigeria's recent hike in ATM withdrawal charges. Lawmakers say the new charges of 100 naira per 20,000 naira withdrawal from other banks' ATMs place an additional financial burden on Nigerians already struggling with inflation and high living costs. The House argued that banks continue to record huge profits despite poor service delivery, making increase unjustifiable. The motion moved by Marcus Onobu stressed that the policy could discourage financial inclusion, especially among low-income earners. The House has urged the CBN to halt implementation pending further discussions with relevant financial committees. Staying with the Parliament, the House of Representatives has directed the Nigerian Communications Commission to direct internet service providers in the country to block all websites hosting obscene and pornographic contents with immediate effect. The resolution was passed on Tuesday following a motion sponsored by Dalhatu Tafoki, a lawmaker from Katsina State. Moving the motion, Tafoki argued that cyber pornography was becoming a global problem and that Nigeria had not taken adequate steps to address it. It described Nigeria as a highly religious country where major faiths prohibit nudity and obscenity. The legislator said several countries across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East had enacted laws banning pornography in light of its potential to encourage adultery, prostitution, and addiction. Away from that, the National Association of Nigerian Students demonstrated at the National Assembly on Tuesday, urging detractors to stop distracting lawmakers from carrying out their legislative duties. At the same time, a group of women also demonstrated alongside the NANS protesters. Both groups appear to share similar demands, with some holding placards describing suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as a serial blackmailer.
We are here in the National Assembly to address the pressing issues that border the nations and also the 10th assemblies of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are here today to add our voice to the voice of the meaning Nigerian, and also to advise those who are distracting the happening in the National Assembly that the National Assembly is an institution created to discuss and deliberate on the progress of Nigeria and not on the personal issues, especially on emotional issues that cause distractions cut across the breadth and length of the country. We are here today to caution those distractors to stay clear for the institutions that was established to develop the country. We are hereby welcome everyone to this history-making press release, and we also call on everybody to see how to stay stick, to support and to pray for the 10th Assembly on how they will make progress instead of distracting them. Now that we have too much important issues that need to be addressed.
The United Women for Good Governance hereby support and endorse the suspension of Senator Natasha from the Nigerian Senate for 6 months. This will serve as a deterrent to all Nigerians who believe that blackmail is an instrument of war. Let it be known that this negative way of forcing people, mostly the men in authority, by women to get what they want through blackmail has become an old fashion.
Now, the Arawa Youth Assembly for Good Leadership has given the President of the Senate, that's Godswill Akpabio, a 48-hour ultimatum to reverse the suspension of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan by the Senate following claims of sexual harassment. The group, during a briefing in Abuja, commended Akpoti-Uduaghan for speaking out against the act and called on Akpabio to immediately commence a public investigation into the claims, while at the same time stepping aside for an impartial inquiry.
We demand that the Senate President submit himself to a transparent, impartial proof, broadcast live to the nation. This is the only way to ensure accountability and justice. We also demand the immediate revise of suspension of Senator Natasha Odoha. Her courage in speaking out against sexual harassment is commendable, and she deserves our support and protection. We are giving him ultimatum of 2 days, that is 48 hours, to reverse the suspension of Senator Natasha and stop the harassment from northern senators. Or else, we'll occupy the street. It's our duty. The last protest, you will see what we did. It's in our vein for us to occupy the street. We'll occupy the whole street of northern Nigeria.
Now, the presidency and the All Progressives Congress have dismissed former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai's defection to the Social Democratic Party and his plan to rally opposition figures against President Bola Tinubu's 2027 re-election bid. El-Rufai, who recently resigned from the APC, cited irreconcilable differences with the party leadership and accused the ruling party of straying from its founding progressive ideals. He pledged to mobilize a broad opposition coalition under the SDP to challenge the APC in the next general election. Reacting to his defection, the APC criticized El-Rufai's move, describing it as driven by inordinate ambition and insisting it posed no real threat to the party's dominance. Meanwhile, the presidency has downplayed the impact of his exit, maintaining confidence in the APC's chances in 2027. Earlier, Abdulateef Abubakar Jos, an editor-in-chief of Silis-based online newspaper, spoke to us on this development.
The PDP is trying to gain momentum sort of at this time around because you can see that a lot of disgruntled politicians that fell alienated from the APC and those alienated from the PDP, they are trying to merge together from the look of things now, because you can look at the inroad that Rabi Musa Konkoso of the NNPP had with Adekemisola about 3 weeks ago, and the same thing with Nasir El-Rufai over the weekend, that he was together with Pastor Tude Bakari and Adekemisola. So, and that same day, on Sunday night, he was together with Atiku Abubakar, where he had his Iftar. That is, he broke his fast at that end. So from the look of things now, it's like there is alignment and realignment in the political space.
All right, now,
which might later bring up a mega political party that may want to unseat the APC in 2027. Because the opposition storm is growing in the sense that it's not going to be a PDP storm, because they realize that PDP has been weakening as a result of the crisis that has bedeviled PDP. So some of the politicians from the PDP and some from the APC, right now, El-Rufai has a very strong supporters at the same time, and he has a strong growth. So you can look at it from the alignment and realignment that is going on now, that there is a move to establish a mega political party that will be able to unseat the incumbent administration.
Away from politics to Nigeria's education sector, President Bola Tinubu has appointed Dr. Mohammed Aminu as Registrar and CEO of the National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB. This was disclosed in a statement released and signed by Bayo Nonuga, Special Advisor to the President. Dr. Aminu, an expert in automobile technology, brings 28 years of experience in teaching, research, and policy development. Until now, he was Director of Procurement at Naseni. Meanwhile, President Tinubu also appointed Idris Olorunimbe as Chairman of the Universal Basic Education Commission Board, UBEC. Razak Olajuwon and Tunde Ajibulu were named Deputy Executive Secretaries. The President urged the new appointees to drive education reforms and enhance vocational training to boost Nigeria's workforce. Still on the presidency, President Bola Tinubu on Monday hosted state governors, ministers, and heads of paramilitary agencies to an Iftar dinner at the State House in Abuja. The governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his predecessor, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, were also in attendance. Breaking fast with governors, ministers, security chiefs, and other senior government officials is part of the annual rituals of the president. governors, including Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, Alex Oti of Abia State, Nasir Idris of Kebbi State, Umweno of Akwa Ibom, Hyacinth Aliyah of Benue State, Sheriff Oborewori of Delta State, Abdullahi Suli of Nasarawa, and Inua Yahaya of Gombe State were at the State House for the Iftar dinner. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, commuters heading into Lagos endured hours of standstill traffic in the early hours of the day, with the gridlock lasting until about 1 p.m. The heavy congestion was caused by a multiple vehicle accident involving 3 heavy-duty trucks on Otedola Bridge. Thankfully, no casualties was recorded. News Central's Bernard Akede has the details.
Another day, another traffic nightmare for Lagos motorists, this time at Otedola Bridge. By 8 a.m., the gridlock had stretched several kilometers along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, spilling into connecting roads and bringing movement to a frustrating crawl. Authorities say the accident, which involved 3 heavy-duty trucks, occurred around 2 a.m.
It occurs that we have a broken minibus that had the perishable items like mango. That one broke down. You have another one again with galvanized sheets. You have these 2 that broke down at Otedola inward Lagos. So there was this Dangote truck that was coming. You just saw this broken down truck suddenly. As he was trying to match brake, the vehicle, he lost control of the vehicle, and the vehicle climbed the median to the other side of the road. And behind him, you have other 2 trucks, heavy trucks that were coming. There's nothing they could do than just to, ram into this very Dangote truck. That was what caused the entire calamity this early morning around 2 a.m.
By the time News Central's crew arrived, emergency responders had cleared the accident scene. However, the ripple effect of the gridlock remained, with traffic still moving at a slow, controlled pace. Although no casualties were reported, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, is once again urging motorists to obey traffic rules and follow officers' directives at all times to prevent such incidents.
I want to indulge them that whenever they are driving, they must abide by the speed limit as inscribed by the Lagos State, by the government. Once you are within the speed limit, in case if you meet any sudden breakdown, any sudden encumbrances on the road, it will be very, very much easier for you to at least put a stop to the vehicle that you are driving. But you see, most of these tanker drivers, I don't know, the rate at which they abuse this speed whenever they are on the road is on the alarming rate. But LASMA is not resting on his horse in respect of this. We had invited them for a meeting, and it's going to be a quarterly meeting. We are having another one by next week Thursday with all the drivers, including owners of such of some of these trucks across Lagos.
As of the time of filing this report, normal traffic flow had been restored to Otedola Bridge, bringing relief to stranded commuters. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
We're still in Lagos, but then talking health, the Lagos State government has confirmed an outbreak of diphtheria at the King's College, Victoria Island Annex, resulting in the death of a 12-year-old student and the hospitalization of 14 others. In response to the outbreak, the Lagos State government has activated an emergency response committee to commence mass vaccination of school children in King's College in Lagos. News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more. We'll bring you details of that particular report, hopefully, in our subsequent bulletins. But then looking at other stories, we go to Kebbi State, where the government has confirmed an outbreak of meningitis in 3 local government areas. Speaking at a press briefing on Tuesday, the State Commissioner for Health, Yanusa Ismail, identified the affected areas as Gondo, Alero, and Jega. Ismail said 248 suspected cases have been recorded so far, with 11 samples taken for laboratory testing. Of these, 3 have been confirmed negative. He added that the outbreak has claimed 26 lives. In response, the state government has approved 30 million naira for the procurement of essential drugs to contain the spread. Isolation centers have also been established to manage cases. The commissioner urged residents to maintain good personal hygiene and avoid crowded places to reduce the risk of the infection. Back to Lagos. The Lagos State Ministry of Health on Tuesday organized a glaucoma awareness walk to mark World Glaucoma Week, aiming to raise awareness, public awareness that is, about the dangers of glaucoma, one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness worldwide. New Central correspondent Bettina Emily reports. We talk security now. The Kwara State Police Command has dismissed reports suggesting that bandits displaced from Zamfara State have relocated to Kwara. Police Public Relations Officer Adeyemi, speaking on behalf of the State Commissioner of Police, Victor Olaya, refuted the claims circulating on social media. He stated that there was no intelligence indicating any movement of bandits from Zamfara to any part of Kwara State. The speculation arose from a social media report on Sunday alleging that fleeing bandits had settled in Bani within the Kayama local government area. However, the police command clarified that there was no operational evidence to support the claim and assured residents of continued security vigilance. Now, the Lagos State Ministry of Health on Tuesday organized a glaucoma awareness walk to mark World Glaucoma Week, aiming to raise public awareness about the dangers of glaucoma, one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness worldwide. New Central correspondent Bettina Emily reports.
The walk, which began at the ministry's headquarters in Alausa Ikeja, brought together health officials, medical professionals, and members of the public. Participants carried placards and banners promoting early detection, regular eye checkups, and proper eye care.
Glaucoma has been known to be the second leading cause of blindness worldwide, and as part of commemoration of the World Glaucoma Week, it's why we want to have this awareness walk. As we all know, after cataract is glaucoma, and we're actually encouraging people to do eye checks at least once in a year. It's the second cause of blindness worldwide.
And many a times when we do our screening programs, we found out that many people that we tend up to pick up end up to have end-stage glaucoma. Why? Because they have not imbibed that culture of, having a regular health check.
The senior special assistant to the special advisor on health, Sarah Balogun, who led the walk, stressed the importance of early diagnosis and treatment in managing glaucoma. She urged Lagos residents to take advantage of the free eye screening services available at the state health facilities during the awareness week.
Secondary eye care services is in 12 of our general hospitals: Lagos Island, Ikorodu, Bagada, Ajeromi, Isolo, Badagry, Orile Agege, Ijede, Ifako, Ijaye, Alimosho, Ibejuleki, and Mushin. They are all equipped to investigate and manage cataracts, glaucoma, and other common eye conditions.
Participants also received informational materials on glaucoma prevention and treatment, while the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Olusegun Ogboye, highlighted the significance of the initiative.
As you're getting older also, it becomes more important to check your eyes. So please, I think the most important message from this for the people who are here and the people who are listening is to, one, get your eyes checked, and then two, let everyone you know who you have around you get their eyes checked as well. It's not enough to just check for whether you need glasses or not. Those are two absolutely different things.
World Glaucoma Week is observed globally to raise awareness and encourage action towards reducing blindness caused by glaucoma. In Lagos, the Ministry of Health has scheduled a series of outreach programs, including free eye screenings and health talks at primary health centers across the state. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
The news continues in West Africa, where a coalition of 25 opposition parties in Côte d'Ivoire has united to push for electoral reforms and political dialogue ahead of the October presidential election. The Coalition for Peaceful Alternation in Côte d'Ivoire comprises parties with diverse ideologies and agendas, yet they share a common goal: ensuring lasting peace in the world's top cocoa-producing nation. So far, the coalition has not announced a joint presidential candidate. Côte d'Ivoire enjoyed stability and economic growth after gaining independence from France in 1960. But a Christmas Eve coup in 1999 triggered years of conflict and election-related violence. President Alain Ouattara, 83 years, who has been in power since 2011, has yet to confirm whether he will seek a fourth term in the October 25 poll. In the east of the continent, at least 4 people were killed on Tuesday when Al-Shabaab militants launched an attack on a hotel in Belendwini, central Somalia. Gunmen detonated an explosives-laden vehicle at the hotel entrance before storming the building and opening fire. Security officials reported that traditional elders and military officers were meeting inside to discuss counter-insurgency efforts when the attack began. Police confirmed that security forces have rescued many of those trapped inside and are currently engaging the remaining attackers. The Al-Shabaab militant group, which has waged a violent insurgency in Somalia for over 15 years, has claimed responsibility for the assault. The Somali government, supported by local militias, the African Union Force, and U.S. airstrikes, has intensified military operations against the group, vowing to eliminate its presence. We now head to South Africa, where government officials and business leaders from the Democratic Republic of Congo are in South Africa to strengthen bilateral ties and explore investment opportunities between the two nations. A key focus of the discussions is the DRC-RSA industrialization project, a major infrastructure initiative aimed at developing a 3,100-kilometer transportation corridor across the DRC to boost trade and economic integration. South Africa and the DR Congo share a long-standing relationship that spans several decades, with both countries seeking to enhance economic cooperation. News Central's Bongani Siziba is covering the event. We now cross over to her for the latest updates.
Where a high-level discussion is happening and here in South Africa between South Africa and DRC officials. This meeting is an important milestone in strengthening the ties between these two nations. As we have seen, South Africa has been a crucial ally for DRC when it comes to offering military aid and support in various capacities. But this collaboration between these two nations is not just about politics. Here today, it's about mutual aid, with South Africa committed to enhancing regional stability through collaborations, business collaborations, and also trying to align its policies that benefit both countries. But the question is, Blessing, what is at heart on this occasion today? It's to focus on the investment that fosters industrial partnership between these two countries, with a project that is aimed at developing a corridor across DRC to boost trade and economic integration. And also, we know that DRC is rich in natural resources, and South Africa businesses are eager to capitalize on these opportunities. Blessing, this bilateral engagement also aims to create job and facilitate skills development in both countries, ensuring that there is sustainable growth, as also South Africa affirms its partnership, its expertise in capacity building, creating economic opportunities that will meet also with DRC expertise. And both countries in this meeting are here just to do that. But Blessing, I have delegates from both countries. Let's hear about what they have to say.
This is quite a critical meeting. Today we are here to formalize in an economic and political structure the DRC-RSA industrialization project. This project is a transformative project that will allow the collaboration of South African companies with DRC companies to build an infrastructure transportation corridor across the DRC going forward. So we find the meeting today quite critical, quite important. We'll be discussing and signing key bilateral agreements as well as consortium agreements going forward that will ensure that the framework and legal oversight of the project is been able to be implemented going forward. So we're quite excited and we're quite happy with the work that's being done.
This project of Mwanda Kipushi integrated development corridor is a game changer for the DRC, for example. In the DRC, as you know, our industrial base, it's zero. And then since we started engagement with South Africa, through the signing of the Economic Cooperation Agreement, we haven't yet come up with a integrating a structuring project. And this is a very structuring and industrializing project. It will run through a 3,100 kilometers of a corridor where various project will be.
You have heard what these representatives they had to say, that South Africa and DRC continue to maintain a strong relationship from regional peace, security, stability of DRC, but also not forgetting the economic ties between these countries. And if these two nations can align their policies and work together for potential growth, for stability, there will be stability not only in the southern region but also in the region as a whole. So as these discussions progresses, we'll keep you updated on the developments, announcements of what is going to be happening here. So it's back to you in the studio.
Outside the African continent, UK Minister for Maritime Security Mike Kane has addressed Parliament following the collision of a cargo vessel with a tanker carrying flammable jet fuel. Kane responded to questions about potential foul play. The incident has raised concerns over safety, but the minister emphasized that investigations are ongoing and no evidence of foul play has been found so far. Kane was also the junior transport minister responsible for aviation, maritime and security. We assured the public that authorities are closely monitoring the situation. While the collision is being thoroughly investigated, the focus remains on ensuring safety protocols are followed to prevent similar incidents in the future.
This morning, am I pleased to say that the fire on the Stena Immaculate appears to be extinguished, but the Salong continues to burn. Modelling suggests that, should the Salong remain afloat, it will remain clear of land for the next few hours. The assessment of His Majesty's Coast Guard is, however, that it is unlikely the vessel will remain afloat. Regarding the cargo of the vessels, the MV Stena was carrying 220,000 barrels of jet fuel, which was the source of the fire. The MCA is working at pace to determine exactly what cargo the Salong is carrying. I am aware of media reporting regarding potential hazardous materials on board, but we are unable to confirm at this time. However, counter-pollution measures and assets are already in place, and both vessels are being closely monitored for structural integrity.
Constituents in my constituency of Bridlington and the Wolds are rightly concerned about the potential environmental and ecological impact, not least because we have the biggest bird colony in mainland Britain, Bempton and Flamborough. We have the largest shellfish landing port in the UK at Bridlington, and we have around 5 million visitors who come to the area every year, enjoying the beaches from Bridlington down to Hornsey.
Talking business now, the leadership of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria has called on PENGASSAN to picket the headquarters of Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited. The union is accusing the oil firm of mistreatment of Nigerian workers. They said that the firm is hiring Indian workers in menial roles, while almost no Nigerian is in its management team. The union is demanding fair practices in adherence to rules.
If you go to international oil and gas companies, the IOCs, the Chevrons of this world, the ExxonMobil of this world, the Total Energies of this world, the Ajip of this world, the Shell of this world, you will see that all the panel operators are all Nigerians, all, no exception, no exception. But if you go to Sterling, all their panel operators are Indians, all, no single Nigerian. So the question we have asked is that, how can this be happening when you have agencies in Nigeria who ought to check such influx, when you have the NNPC, when you have the NUPRC, when you have the NCDMB, when you have the Ministry of Interiors, when you have the immigration, they are nowhere to be found. And same Sterling management, they've told us several years ago that, that they have all the Nigerian agencies in their pocket, that they have bribed everybody, that anywhere we go, that they will have sympathy because they have bribed everybody, and that they will do nothing. So, seeing what is actually happening, it's actually leading credence, to what they have said. Because how can you go to a platform, a more sophisticated platform in deep offshore, for example? If you go to Agbami, if you go to Akpo FPSO, if you go to Usan FPSO, Agbami by Chevron, Akpo FPSO by Total Energies, Usan FPSO by ExxonMobil, you are going, these are complicated deep offshore platforms. You will see that the entire operations in these platforms are carried out by Nigerians. Complicated platforms. But if you go to a very simple platform that Sterling is operating, they are all Indians. So what are our agencies doing in a country where we don't have jobs? In a country where people are literally suffering, where graduates are roaming the street, no work. We are allowing Indians to man literally everything. The crude belongs to us in Nigeria. We even had at a time that they were given permits to drill 3 wells. Oil wells, and they ended up drilling 5, and nobody did anything. This is stealing. Correct. Clearly, they are stealing Nigerian crude, and our agencies, they will all fold their arm and be watching. It is also worthy to note that the CEO and top management of these companies, they have been declared wanted in India. They cannot even travel to their homeland. As we speak today, it shows that they've committed a lot of atrocities in their homeland, and we welcome them with open hands here. We are not against investors, not at all, but you must play according to the rules.
That's all at this hour. But before we go, we look at our top stories again. Gunmen killed 20 in attack on 4 villages in Ondo State. 14 bodies recovered. Supreme Court upholds Lucky Aiyedatiwa's governorship election victory in Ondo State. We also told you that militants attacked a Somali hotel, killed 4 people. You can send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on your screen. And you can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. Do watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times 274, Arvo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Obanjo.